Welcome back to the channel, Dane Scott's Truckers Lounge. It's a beautiful, shall we say, lazy Sunday. You can kind of see outside there. Not too bad. It's rainy, it's cold. So I thought we would do one of my, nobody in here but maybe a mouse, and I hope not that. But no, I thought I would do one of my episodes to kind of catch you up on some things some of you have been asking about, some of the models and die cast, and there's some other things I want to show you in the lounge. And then we'll move on to the next episode in, I think we'll do an owner-operator magazine episode this time around. So first things first, don't forget to like and subscribe if you would. I appreciate it. Hit the bell, that way you know when I upload something new. And now we move to the priority, which is right here in front of us, the infamous Truckers Lounge coffee machine. And I know some of you kind of aren't impressed when I take time to drink a little coffee, but I got to tell you what, it's all part of it, and it's part of it for me. And you guys know, if you were on the road, you guys drank a lot of coffee. So first things first, that gets the ball rolling. All right, let's move past the Crackerbox here. I've been getting a little more painting done. Look at that, there's even some nice chrome covers on the nuts on the wheels. A little bit of paint going on here. Just a little bit of tidying up. And some of you may have saw on the Facebook page, we got the spring brakes installed this week. Much better, definitely than using the old emergency brake type of handle thing in the cab. Upgrading. So, here's the caddy shack, sitting patiently waiting for spring. We did a little work yesterday underneath the Brogadier. We're trying to get the right alternator bracket. So far, not having a lot of luck. The exhaust is ready to go. We've got all the pieces we need for that. Just got to mock it up and get that going. But if you guys know where I can get a big cam alternator bracket, and I don't know, it might be specific to the Brogadier or even the General, let me know in the comments. I seem to be having trouble locating one. So onward, over to the Truckers Lounge. Had some very cool items sent to me from one of the subscribers, one of you subscribers, I should say. You're not a the, you're a you. And he sent me some very cool stuff, paperweight here from Holland Fifth Wheels. It's a couple Mac items, belt buckle and keychain. That is so stinking cool. Holland belt buckle there. And a great Dane belt buckle. And this is the gem. Look at this. The CF Consolidated Freightways hat. And look at the condition. I mean, that's killer. And you guys know that I kind of like Consolidated Freightways. If I could ever find a slab cab Freightliner, boy, I'd be so tempted to add it to the collection here, but I got to stay away from that kind of stuff. I need to finish what I got, but that could be in the future. And then he also sent me this cool little CEX double pup trailer Freightliner. I mean, come on, this is cool stuff. And somebody sent me these little tractors. This I got on eBay. This is a local truck stop, one exit away in Kingsville, Ohio. It used to be called the Big K. And that state route is State Route 193 and I-90 in Connie, but it used to be called Route 170. I did not know that. So there's a little bit of history that I learned, but it started out as pure. I don't know when, but not too long after that, it went to 76. And of course, it was a 76. Now it's a TA. One of those TAs that has a great restaurant that won't open it back up either, which I think is a shame. I try to keep things positive on here. I don't want to get negative, but I just think you should be feeding the drivers out there. You guys work hard, you need a good meal, and they used to have great food there when they had the restaurant open pre-COVID, and they haven't opened it up since. So I'll just leave that right there. So in the goodie category here, somebody was asking about model trucks and whatnot. Here's one of my builds that I did a few years ago. Chevy Titan. And of course, I had to trim the bumpers, the factory look, which I just think looks mean. Right down to business, you know what I'm saying? So there's that. And just some other collectibles, you know, that I've either bought at antique stores or people have given me. I like my bubble gum, but I did take a few suggestions to stop chewing gum on the video, so I don't do that anymore. Thanks, guys. This is a learning process. These are the tags that were on the Pete, Big Dog, on the stainless steel sheets. They just attached these to the side of the truck when I got it. It was right on the doors. You can kind of see right where they were at. See? I keep my trucks close. But they were up on this side as well. You can see it's a lot nicer where they were at because it preserved the paint. There's the Big Dog sitting in his little den for the winter. So I just thought, I'll just hang those up on the wall in the Truckers Lounge. I think they'll look good. I'm starting to get this thing decorated a little bit, but it takes time. I've always been a 7-Up fan. That's why I got the 7-Up machine over in the corner, which I'll show you that. Here's one of these great old school 70s or maybe even 80s metal trucks that they made so many of these for different companies, True Value and oh my goodness, all kinds of companies. They used to do these promo metal trucks, and somebody gave me that. So it gets displayed as well, and of course the iconic bobbing head of the 70s. And my wife thought I needed that. Nice little truck there, so up she goes. Bob's Big Boy. Iconic America stuff right there. Americana. Had to be in the Truckers Lounge. Yeah. That's the good life. Strong black coffee. And even look at this light. This light came out of a house here in town. There was 2 of them, and somebody they were remodeling, and somebody knew that I'm into retro stuff, so they gave me 2, and the other one will hang right there. Haven't gotten it up yet. So there's the Truckers Lounge. Of course, I like to make some noise every once in a while, keep my chops up. I do play. Here's the 7-Up machine. Little paraphernalia. Texaco, of course. I did my garage in Texaco. But, I mean, come on, look at this machine. Really? Is this awesome or what? And that fits all kinds of different bottles in there. And the only reason I don't have it running is because I got the refrigerator over in there. I don't be running 2 things. So, but it fits all kinds of pop, and it works. Works like a champ. So, I guess that's all the little stuff I got to show you. So I guess we'll head up to the Truckers Lounge upstairs. The Truckers Lounge up. So, I told you guys a while back I had another poster coming of one of the famous 70s iconic trucking movies. So, I just got it back, ready to hang. Eyeballing. A lot of you guys will remember that movie. It's on the internet now. You can find it. Look at that. Is that killer or what? So that's gonna go. There's my white line figure. That'll go on that wall to match White Line Fever here in the Truckers Lounge. So I think what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at owner-operator July-August of 1977. So before we go through that, why don't you grab a cup of coffee? I'll go grab mine and we'll get her done. Okay, so let's get at it, boys and girls. This is the July-August 1977 issue of Owner Operator. Got a cool cover on it. They introduced the new S Series Internationals in here, which I think are very cool trucks. And if you recall, I featured Braden Tucker's business with all of the old auto cars and Internationals out in front of his place, and one of them I think was a Trailer Express or International Trailer or something. It was a light blue S model that he had for sale there. Extremely cool truck. I really like those trucks. Nice looking. So check out that video for that S model. But anyways, moving on, we got a feature story in here about bull haulers. But the first thing we're going to look at in here is this killer 3-page spread for white Freightliner. I mean, this is just incredible. I mean, I used to ruin these magazines and have to buy another one because I'd rip out these posters and hang them on my wall. But, you know, the 70s is when they really did some nice design on trucks. And of course the ads that they placed on them. And we all know how unique the old school stuff looks compared to today, all the plastic that we see today that really is boring. Okay, I'm just going to skim over some stuff. I mean, I got to tell you, this particular magazine is chock full of information. I mean, there's so much reading in here. You know, I wanted to make sure that I was at least reading some of this stuff so I could kind of quickly go over it and share it with you guys, so I had some kind of background on the issue that I'm sharing with you. Man, it takes a lot of time to read these, which is a credit to the magazine itself and the content, how much they had in there. So here's a good Mac ad for the cruise liner. If you guys ever drove a cruise liner, let me know in the comments. CB ads, of course. Fruhoff trailer. And this is good stuff. You can grab these old issues on eBay. Guys are usually selling them. But there's the choice you had for seats. Kind of sparse, but at the time that was state of the art. Yes, and the radar detectors. And white, they had a lot of cool ads. Look at that, Road Commander 2. There's another killer 2-page spread. Road Commander 2, lightweight. Lots of aluminum. Love their logo. The Road Commode, as you guys called it. But that was, I'll tell you what, the first one kind of could get that name, but not the Road Commander 2. I mean, that was a nice, refined truck. Real nice interiors on those. You don't see many of them today. Not many of them were saved. That's for sure. And the anti-lock round 2, which supposedly was a whole lot better than the initial rollout, which if you guys were driving back then, you remember that mess. Here's one of the feature articles about a bull hauler. This guy drove a 4070 Transtar, I believe, with a 350 Cummins in it. And I didn't realize that these, if you can see it there, the air deflector that you can put up on the cab there, just the minimal ones, not the real aerodynamic ones like you see today, but just that one right there, according to him, netted him 11% fuel savings. Nice ad for the K100. Supposedly very low maintenance. They bought that truck used. 1973. Matter of fact, that's the same year and the exact same truck that I used to get to ride in with the guy that used to take me to Boston for fresh fish. We would stop at Welch's in New York, pick up a load there, a jelly or whatever he picked up. I didn't pay much attention, and then deliver that on the way to Boston. Go right down to the docks in Boston and get fresh fish, spend the night there, and come back. Good times. I remember sleeping in the sleeper and hearing that motor humming, that K100. Yep. That's what gave me the fever. And there again, I'm just skimming through this. You know, I'm not getting real in depth here, but I'm just kind of sharing with you what the old school magazines used to be. And this probably was the #1 magazine, owner operator. They had their own little cartoons in there. Look at that. Rolling out the General. It's called the General, and it's the first really new heavy-duty conventional to come out in years. 1977. I don't know if it's 77 it rolled out or 6. I can't remember. One of those years, but hey, it was a new truck then, and there was a lot of cool stuff about it. For instance, all the gauges were self-contained units, it says, that plug in and out from the front. And all the wirings contain neat, organized channels in the panel itself. No trouble with like spaghetti. Circuit breakers, not hidden away. They were right on a panel next to the steering wheel, giving the driver instant access to them. And they snap in and out for easy servicing. So there was a lot of thought that went in to the General. Even the Astro, the placement of the gauges, you know, that cockpit thing, and having all the gauges when they're in their normal mode, I'm told, would be straight up, so you could just do a quick look-see and see all your gauges were in the right place where they were supposed to be. A lot of Washington not ads, but articles about the trucking industry then, and if you guys worked it, you know what that was all about. Such an iconic time for trucking, not that these days aren't, but there's Loretta Lynn's Pleasure Palace. Kind of a sparse bus, I mean, but then again, that was back in the 70s. Old Ford there, Ford Cabover. Truck Week, 77, St. Louis Convention Center. Wonder if any of you guys went to that. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys went to any of those old trucking conventions back in the 70s. Here we go with the feature, Editor's Choice. And I gotta admit, you know, this particular magazine, they were classy. They didn't get too bad here, you know, with the girls that they featured. It was pretty classy. But look at that General. The perfect feature truck for 77. New General. It's kind of cute. There again, they kept it classy, not bad. Moving on. And here's the Union 76 TA, and I like I showed you guys earlier, I don't know if this light's working or not, but like I showed you earlier downstairs, I had a matchbook from the Kingsville truck stop, which went from pure to 76, Union 76, the big K. So there's some of their ads. Nice Fruhoff dump. And vote for Miss Owner Operator 77, all the featured ones. You guys can research that. But there's, like I said, there's so much in this magazine, I think, compared to some of the others. But this article here, this is kind of a tragic article, and it just kind of points out, you know, the combination of a daydreaming driver who lied about his experience for his employer. He didn't have near the driving experience that he said he had, and the truck that he was driving, the brakes were all out of adjustment, and really they said the only brakes that were really working was the front axle on the trailer tandem. He runs through an intersection, hits somebody at a stoplight because he was daydreaming, goes right in across the intersection, plows right through an apartment building, kills 3 people, and I think 2 others were seriously injured. Just tragic. So don't skip your pre-trips, guys. That's what pre-trips are all about. Don't lie about your experience, although I don't think you could get away with that nowadays. Things are a lot different and more stringent these days. Nice article about private fleets, which I didn't realize the huge amount of freight really that's hauled by private fleets. It's bigger than actually the independents or the for-hire fleets. You know, and the private fleets, of course, are the trucks that haul their own product that they're made. Whatever products they make, kind of like your local lumber yard has its own trucks, and some of your local factories have their own 2 or 3 trucks, or but even bigger ones. I think they said like Sears and Roebuck, you know, had 2,000 or over 2,000 trucks. I mean, they could even have that many and still be a private fleet. There's a nice killer white 7,000 Cabover slab cab there. A little Freightliner action going on. Of course, the iconic CB. Cobra kind of had it locked up. They always had a good section, parts section, featuring all these parts. I remember seeing lots of those hot boxes for warming up the fuel. And I sent in many of these owner-operator cards trying to pretend I was somebody that wanted to buy something just to get the brochures to hang on my wall. So then they had a CB buyer's guide in here. There was like, I think I counted like 51 brands of CBs that they featured in here, and I'm sure there was more. But my goodness. Nowadays you can travel, go down the road and hardly hear anybody even talk on their CB. It's kind of depressing. So if you kind of like what you see, it's just kind of interesting that the international dealers were stocking parts for other trucks, so to make sure that they could take care of the drivers that maybe they didn't have an international but they needed parts, and they could help them out. So yeah, this is one of the biggest trade magazines at the time. Don't know what happened to it. There's a little ad for silicone, promoting silicone radiator and heater hoses. Supposedly lasted 3 times longer. And if you guys are interested, you want TV in your in that nice sleeper there, here you go. Here's a Hitachi 9-inch AC/DC truck car black and white television. State of the art, little Texas Instruments, well, whatever that is, Baumar calculator, but Texas Instruments I think was the first one came out with it. The iconic thermos. Yep, tools of the trade. Or how about an 8-track, guys? Need an 8-track to play your Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash. Chris Christopherson, I didn't realize he had so much cool music. I was listening to some of his stuff back then with Johnny Cash. Yeah, I'm getting a little music education here with the old school trucking stuff too. Truck Stops of America, I believe that's TA, isn't it? Isn't that what is now the TA Truck Stops that took over the 76? And of course, owner-operator had their own tabletop trucking where they featured truck models. Back then it was limited. You know, Ertel had a few kits, TranStar, I think 42 or 4300, and the 4070 and 4070B. Built several of those kits. They've been re-released. Of course, AMT had the 352 and the Freightliner. We're living in cool times because there's so much on Facebook, so many pages, you know, model pages and truck pages. You guys know what I'm talking about. So we kind of live in good times. Technology has come a long way. Look at this, the old Fontaine fifth wheel. That's what's on my Crackerbox, guys. That exact model is on my Crackerbox, and it still works just fine. Here's the S model we were talking about earlier. S model International. Very cool trucks. Howard Cosell. I'll tell you what, the 70s icons were Howard Cosell, Muhammad Ali, Evel Knievel. Oh my goodness. You guys remember that. Yep. But Howard Cosell, I don't know how he got in a CB ad, but there he is. I mean, there's just a lot of information in these. Product information. Look at this. Here's a killer. Another white ad. Full page. Remember the Expediter? Very unique. That's kind of like for around the yard trucks, for garbage trucks, city traffic type of truck. Of course, the road. Let's see, what was that? The Road Boss 2, and the Road Commander. It's just awesome. It's a shame they got swallowed up. They weren't the only ones. Nice Aerodyne. BIT 200 limited edition. So we're getting pretty close here to wrapping it up. Little Sunday afternoon ride through owner-operator, July, August 77. So hope you like that. A little tour and update on all the goodies around the shop here. I appreciate you guys. So we'll be doing different things through the winter here. It's harder to chase the trucks because of the winter weather, and guys don't have them out, including myself, but you're going to get a lot of updates on the Brigadier, on the Crackerbox. Not doing a lot of work on the P352 because it's pretty complete, and I got a lot to do on the Brigadier and Crackerbox to keep you busy all winter, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. So in the meantime, keep the hammer down, safe and sound. I'll see you around town.